السيدات والسادة، يرجى من حضراتكم الوقوف بالنشيد الوطني لدولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand up for UAE National Anthem.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning, honored dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Terrapin, I would like to warmly welcome each of you today to the 2020 edition of Middle East Rail and Smart Mobility. For the last 14 years, this event has welcomed the rail and wider transport community to explore the construction and development of world-class freight and passenger mobility projects across the region. From Riyadh to Cairo, and right here in the UAE in the build-up to Expo 2020, it's great to see that the progress that has been made over the last 12 months. We have always prided ourselves on being a platform that helps to unite the international vendor community with the local buying market of operators, transport operators across the region. Before we begin, I would like to extend our gratitude and extreme thanks to strategic partners, the FTA, Land and Maritime, and Ministry of Infrastructure Development, as well as to our sponsors and exhibitors for helping to make this event possible. As always, the Terrapin team is here to help, so please feel free to come up and introduce yourself to myself or one of the Terrapin team if you need any assistance at all. And on that note, let's get the show on the road, as I say. And let me introduce the host for the morning, Layla Harab, the CEO of Alive Crew. Please give her a warm welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, David, for the introduction. السلام عليكم. صباح الخير أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، السيدات والسادة والحضور الكرام. يشرفني صراحة حضور هذا العدد الكبير من كبار الشخصيات الذين انضموا إلينا من أنحاء دول العالم العربي، آسيا، أفريقيا وشبه القارة الهندية في هذا المؤتمر، واعتقد هذا المعرض العاشر للسكك الحديدية في الشرق الأوسط. Good morning, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It is my pleasure to welcome you all in Dubai, the UAE, and most importantly to the Middle East Rail and Middle East Smart Mobility 2020. It's exciting actually for me to come back to this industry because for 10 years I have joined the civil aviation. I was the lead negotiator for the air transport agreements with the world. And coming back to rail, because I was one of the team who established RTA in Dubai, it is very exciting actually for me. So we have a fantastic 2 days ahead of us at the region's largest rail exhibition and conference, and including, as I was informed by the team, never before heard project updates from across the Middle East and from Asia and Africa. So I myself is very intrigued actually, and some incredible keynote speakers are here and fantastic networking opportunities is available. Just some housekeeping if you want to tweet about the conference. There's hashtag MERail, and there are some translators over there which requires your ID card. And we have tight schedule this morning, so unfortunately you will not be having the opportunity for questions and answers for our guests. So I hope you take the opportunity meeting them in the networking sessions so you can ask our speakers. So now, the future of transport looks so much different than transport today. Cars will become much, much smaller. Sidewalks and bike lanes, small people movers, bicycles, scooters, and segways will see them more often. Seated one-passenger devices without handlebars or parking spaces for big vehicles, self-driving vehicles, and invisible network of data that we will have. Transport won't just be about moving us around. We will use small-wheeled robots that can follow us, like if you heard about the Gita. So it will be a different look overall. With urban aviation as well, many changing stations, traffic management needs to be transformed. And finally, of course, we are here in the rail exhibition, so let's talk about the rail. We are in the Middle East rail, so the rail is among the most energy efficient modes of transport for freight and passengers. It is often neglected a little bit in the public debate. The transport sector is responsible for more than half of global oil demand and around 1/4 of the global CO emissions from the fuel consumption. And ask me, I come from aviation, and this is a big debate in aviation. So therefore, in transportation, it is fundamental in achieving energy transitions globally, and rail in all its form is a fundamental player in achieving that goal. So we will have few keywords in the future of rail: smart technology, electrification, autonomous, and green. And when we look at the UAE, and I'm sure our distinguished guest, His Excellency Ahmed Al-Khouri, he will talk about it, but we have a lot of strategies here in the UAE. We have Abu Dhabi Transportation Mobility Management Strategy. We have the Surface Transport Master Plan in Abu Dhabi, Dubai Autonomous Transportation Strategy, Dubai Green Mobility, Dubai Air Taxi, drones, Hyperloop coming, hoverbacks are coming, self-driving taxis coming, Etihad Rail is nearly there, Rotocraft Terminal Expo 2020. So you'll find a lot of innovation coming in the UAE. And those accelerators and disruption accelerators, such as the Federal Regulation Lab, Dubai Future Accelerators, Future Foundation, the Center of Fourth Industrial Revolution. So how all of these means and all of these incubators and the government in setting up all these incubators, how does this will shape the future of transport in the UAE? So without further delay, please let me introduce His Excellency Engineer Ahmed Al-Khouri. He is the Director General of the Federal Transport Authority, Land and Maritime in the UAE. Please, Your Excellency.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Excuse me, those who speak English, but I have to deliver my speech in Arabic. So excuse me for that. I hope there are some means of translation for those who don't speak Arabic. Bismillah. أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، السيدات والسادة الحضور الكرام، أود في البداية أن أبلغكم تحيات معالي الدكتور عبد الله بالحيف النعيمي، وزير تطوير البنية التحتية ورئيس مجلس إدارة الهيئة الاتحادية للمواصلات البرية والبحرية، الذي لم يتمكن من الحضور معنا اليوم لقيامه بمهمة طارئة خارج الدولة. فيسرني أن أرحب بكم في بلدكم دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة، وفي معرض ومؤتمر السكك الحديدية ووسائل النقل الذكية في الشرق الأوسط 2020، والذي يعقد تحت رعاية كريمة من سمو الشيخ منصور بن زايد آل نهيان، نائب رئيس مجلس الوزراء وزير شؤون الرئاسة وبإشراف الهيئة الاتحادية للمواصلات البرية والبحرية ووزارة تطوير البنية التحتية. إن دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة تولي قطاع النقل السككي أهمية كبيرة، حيث استطاعت في فترة زمنية قصيرة أن تصنع لنفسها مكانة على الخريطة العالمية في قطاع السكك الحديدية، حيث يلعب هذا القطاع الحيوي دورا مهما في اقتصاد الدولة بفضل دعم واهتمام القيادة الرشيدة وصاحب السمو الشيخ خليفة بن زايد آل نهيان رئيس الدولة حفظه الله، وأخيه صاحب السمو الشيخ محمد بن راشد آل مكتوم نائب رئيس الدولة رئيس مجلس الوزراء حاكم دبي، وصاحب السمو الشيخ محمد بن زايد آل نهيان ولي عهد أبو ظبي نائب القائد الأعلى للقوات المسلحة، وإخوانهم حكام الإمارات الذين يواصلون مسيرة العطاء والتقدم التي أرساها المغفور له بإذن الله الشيخ زايد بن سلطان آل نهيان القائد والمؤسس طيب الله ثراه. وعليه وضعت القيادة العليا في دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة رؤية واضحة ومساهمة فاعلة واستراتيجية تهدف إلى أن يكون للدولة الدور الريادي والتميز في مجال النقل بالسكك الحديدية، فأنشأت شركة الاتحاد للقطارات، شركة وطنية عملاقة لتطوير وإدارة وتشغيل شبكة متكاملة من السكك الحديدية تقوم بربط المرافق الحيوية والمنشآت اللوجستية في الدولة وفق أفضل المواصفات العالمية ومعايير السلامة الدولية لخدمة المسافرين ونقل البضائع، بما يساهم في دعم الاقتصاد الوطني وتنمية العلاقات التجارية والإقليمية والدولية من خلال الربط بشبكة قطار التعاون الخليجي. وقد قطعت الهيئة الاتحادية للمواصلات البرية والبحرية بصفتها الهيئة التنظيمية لقطاع النقل في دولة الإمارات شوطاً كبيراً في استكمال الأطر التشريعية والسياسات واللوائح التنظيمية لضمان كفاءة وتطور سلامة النقل السككي وتنمية هذا القطاع الحيوي الهام في الدولة. أصحاب المعالي والسعادة، السيدات والسادة، لقد أدركت دولة الإمارات أهمية استشراف مستقبل قطاع النقل بأساليب مبتكرة والاكتشاف المبكر للفرص والتحديات في هذا القطاع، وتوظيف الإبداع والابتكار في عملية تحليل التحديات المستقبلية لوضع الخطط الاستباقية في خدمة التطوير المستدام لمنظومة النقل المتكامل ومواكبة آخر التطورات والابتكارات العالمية في المجال، بما يتواءم مع متطلبات المسيرة التنموية الطموحة التي تقودها القيادة الرشيدة والحكومة الفاعلة في دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة نحو تحقيق إنجازات نوعية تساهم في خدمة اقتصاد ومصالح الدولة الحالية والمستقبلية، ليكون قطار النقل مساهماً رئيساً في دفع عجلة النمو الاقتصادي ودعم سياسة تنوع مصادر الدخل استعداداً لمرحلة ما بعد النفط في الخطة الخمسية للحكومة. الحضور الكرام، نظراً لما تشهده وسائل النقل من تطور تكنولوجي سريع ولا سيما في جوانب القيادة والتحكم بما يخدم السلامة العامة والبيئة وإسعاد المجتمع، فقد أولت دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة اهتماماً كبيراً بتبني ودعم تكنولوجيا وسائل النقل الذكية وذاتية القيادة والمساهمة في الجهود البحثية العالمية في تطوير هذه الأنظمة من خلال المؤسسات التعليمية البحثية والشركات الوطنية المتخصصة في مجال التكنولوجيا المتقدمة، وكذلك جهود الهيئات التنظيمية في الدولة لمواكبة هذه التطورات التي تشهدها العالم في هذا المجال، وذلك لتهيئة الأجيال للمرحلة القادمة إيماناً منها بالمستقبل الواعد للقطاع اللوجستي في ظل تبني الأنظمة الذكية في تطوير وسائل النقل والبنية التحتية. وبناء عليه فقد حرصنا في هيئة المواصلات البرية والبحرية أن يولي هذا الحدث اهتماماً بهذا الجانب التقني والتكنولوجي الذكي لوسائل النقل لضمان متابعة ومواكبة التطورات الجارية في هذا المضمار على المستوى الإقليمي والدولي، وإتاحة الفرصة أمام المهتمين في قطاع النقل للاطلاع على آخر المستجدات والالتقاء مع المختصين وخلق فرص الشراكة فيما بينهم وبين أفضل الشركات العالمية في تكنولوجيا النقل. وفي الختام اسمحوا لي مرة أخرى أن أرحب بكم في بلدكم دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة، متمنيا لكم طيب الإقامة، كما تقدم بالشكر لكافة المشاركين ولجميع من عملوا على إنجاح هذا الحدث وتحقيق الأهداف المرجوة من مشاركتكم المشكورة. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
شكرا سعادة أحمد الخوري لما طرحه من نظرة استراتيجية من حول خطط النقل ومستقبل السكك الحديدية في دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة. Thank you, Your Excellency, for your wonderful speech and the views of the government about the rail and smart mobility in the country. So governments and governors, just to wrap up his speech for those people who didn't have a translator, governments are also trying to adapt and transform their regulations and their policies in order to accelerate and adapt to the implementation of a lot of technologies and to support a lot of entrepreneurs and innovators in the industry and remove any obstacle in the future shift in the transportation. So for our next distinguished guest, His Excellency Christopher Heaton Harris, the Minister of State, Department of Transport in the UK, and I had the pleasure working with the Department of Transport and Aviation negotiating air transport agreements, so it will be very interesting to hear your vision. Please.
Good morning, Your Excellency, Your Excellencies, and thank you very much indeed for that kind introduction. It's not many times people say it's a pleasure to negotiate with the United Kingdom at the moment in a Brexit world, so thank you for that. I'm delighted to be here at the largest conference of its kind in the region with over 300 exhibitors representing the country with the oldest railway in the world in a region which is constructing one of the newest. Whilst the history of the UK and Middle East railways contrasts, we share many of the same ambitions for our networks. Over the past 200 years in the UK, the railways have helped to bring prosperity, spark friendships, and open new worlds of opportunity for countless people across our nation. And here today in the Middle East, we can see the unfolding in front of us of a clear illustration of the power of the railways to unleash vast social and economic benefits. Since I've arrived in Dubai, I've heard about the progress being made on the Gulf Railway, an extraordinary scheme that will connect the 6 countries of the Gulf Cooperation Council. And I've had the privilege of learning about the work that's underway on many other major projects across the region. The Cairo monorail that will one day connect the gleaming skyscrapers of the city's new administrative capital with the ancient monuments in Giza. And here, of course, the Dubai Metro, with punctuality and reliability rates that many of us will envy, soon to become the longest automated system of its type in the world when the new extension opens later this year, linking the harbour with the expo site that I saw yesterday, which is a massive and wonderful development in itself. So today we're standing at the dawn of a new age for public transportation in the Middle East. In the UK, we're also using rail to transform our country once again, and again, the lives of millions of people. Over the past 25 years, the number of passenger journeys in the UK has doubled. What was once a network that seemed to be dwindling is now thriving once again. So this makes our network not just the oldest, but one of the most intensively used in the world, which is why the new government under Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister, has committed to the biggest rail investment programme for over a century. It's work we're going to that's going to allow our network not just to meet the rising demand, but to provide an even better service to our passengers, our customers. This unprecedented level of investment will help renew every strand of the fabric of our railway, from upgrading gauge clearance to rolling out digital signalling to automatic train operation and major route and station improvements. To give you a flavour of some of the work that's under the way, we've carried out the most extensive modernisation work on the Great Western Main Line, a 400-mile route that has for 179 years been carrying passengers between London and Bristol. But thanks to a multi-billion-pound investment project, it is going from strength to strength, with capacity tripled on some stretches of the route and journey times down by almost 28%. We've carried out a major electrification project on many of the routes in the northwest. But as well as enhancing tracks and trains, we're also overhauling some of our busiest stations. You might have recently travelled through the newly upgraded and architecturally striking King's Cross or London Bridge stations, for instance. These are all great examples of our determination to build a railway that offers passengers and freight customers greater capacity and faster, more reliable journeys. But as well as improving this existing network, we're building new, crucially needed train links that will level up our country and open opportunity for all. Connections across our capital have already been transformed because of the Thameslink project. And whilst they'll be improved further with the opening of what has been the largest rail construction project in Europe, Crossrail. This extraordinary feat of engineering has created a route that will run over 100 kilometres through our capital city of London and into the home counties from east to west, through tunnels that have been painstakingly constructed below some of the most ancient parts of the city and under the River Thames. Once open, Crossrail will be transformative and carry up to 200 million passengers a year, further boosting this city's economic productivity. We're also using rail to transform the country more widely. We're pressing on with High Speed 2 and High Speed North, schemes that will harness the power of high-speed rail to massively boost capacity on our railways, speed up journeys to and from the capital, and dramatically improve connections between our great cities, Leeds, Liverpool, Birmingham, Manchester. I don't think it's an exaggeration to say or to imagine the rich legacy these projects will leave the UK. These will be worthy of the most famous father of our railway, Isabel Kingdom Brunel. And as well as new tracks and trains, we're focused on improving, probably the most importantly, focused on improving the passenger experience too. We're rolling out smart ticketing across the network. Very soon we'll go a step further. We're introducing a white paper that will produce a whole range of important measures, from improving workforce skills to overhauling business models to fare structures. Steps that should lead to great advances for customers and ensure our railway is ready for the coming decades. These groundbreaking projects will have a profoundly positive impact on the United Kingdom and its economy. But there is another benefit too. As we've engaged in these ambitious schemes, our rail supply sector has grown commensurately in size, experience, and enterprise. On that note, I'm delighted to see so many representatives of those British companies here today in the great exhibition you've got outside. From Intech providing export intelligence to Network Rail Consulting offering excellent expertise to PPA Limited manufacturing interiors for rail. The fact that the UK and the UAE are investing in rail and understand its potential to improve society gives us much more shared interest and common experience. I'm certain that there are many great opportunities here for British firms in the UAE, including the construction of the Dubai Metro extension and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia rail network. But I hope over the years to come, Middle Eastern countries are able to further harness the UK supply chain expertise in areas such as rolling stock, infrastructure, engineering, consulting and design. And in that longer term, we can continually work closer together. It's worth remembering that UK rail firms are not only working on some of the most pioneering modern rail projects of the 21st century, but we also successfully operate a network that is the oldest in the world, the busiest in Europe, yet one of the safest anywhere on the planet. Those achievements are not just happy coincidences, but down to the expertise in monitoring, maintaining and upgrading infrastructure, and through the effective use of asset management systems and the latest technology. So I'm very optimistic about our potential to achieve a great deal together. And I'm delighted to have this the chance to address the people in this room, many of whom are going to play such an important part in making all that happen. I'll conclude by saying that these are unbelievably exciting times for rail in our parts of the world. Whilst we share many past experiences, we will also share great opportunities ahead. I'm delighted this week that at Middle East Rail will have a great chance to continue and strengthen our relationship even further. So please do come and visit the UK Pavilion. We're a friendly bunch, even though we're leaving the European Union, and where British companies will be delighted to meet you and continue this ongoing conversation. I very much look forward to working with you all, and I wish you an enjoyable and productive conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Actually, it is fascinating to see the continuous high momentum in the development of rail in the UK, and it is one of the oldest rail network in the world. And I would say we had many successful partnership with the UK, looking at Dubai Metro and Serco partnership. It was one of the successful partnership. So I'm happy to say that. And since you have talked about the GCC rail plans, let me welcome His Excellency Mr. Khalifa bin Said Al-Abri to join us and talk about, he's the GCC General Secretariat, and he will talk about the economic and development of the GCC and the rail network in the region. Please.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سعادة المهندس أحمد محمد شريف الخوري، مدير عام الهيئة الاتحادية للمواصلات البرية والبحرية بدولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة، أصحاب المعالي، أصحاب السعادة، الحضور الكرام، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. يشرفني في مستهل كلمتي هذه أن أتوجه بالشكر الجزيل لمعالي الدكتور عبد الله بحليف النعيمي، وزير تطوير البنية التحتية ورئيس مجلس إدارة الهيئة الاتحادية للمواصلات البرية والبحرية بدولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة، على دعوته الكريمة لنا للمشاركة في هذا المؤتمر، وعلى كرم الضيافة وحفاوة الاستقبال. أصحاب المعالي، أصحاب السعادة، الحضور الكرام، إن أصحاب الجلالة والسمو قادة دول المجلس يحفظهم الله ويرعاهم، يوجهون دائما بالاستمرار في دفع مسيرة العمل الخليجي المشترك وتحقيق المزيد من التنسيق والتكامل والترابط بين دول الأعضاء بما يحقق آمال وتطلعات مواطني دول المجلس. وقد تمكن دول المجلس ولله الحمد من إنجاز العديد من المشاريع التكاملية كالسوق الخليجية المشتركة والاتحاد الجمركي والربط الكهربائي، وسيكون إن شاء الله في المستقبل القريب مشروع الربط بالسكك الحديدية فيما بين دول المجلس كأحد المشاريع الهامة للتكامل الاقتصادي ما بين دول المجلس. إن التعاون بين دول المجلس في مجال النقل والمواصلات بكافة أنواعه البري والبحري والجوي قد حقق تقدما ملموسا. ففي مجال النقل البري تم إصدار الدليل الموحد لوسائل التحكم المروري، وهو يعنى بالعلامات والإشارات الخاصة باستخدام الطرق داخل وفيما بين دول المجلس. كما تم إعداد قانون نظام للنقل البري الدولي بين دول الأعضاء. وفي مجال الموانئ والنقل البحري تعمل دول المجلس ضمن منظومة دول العالم المتمثلة في منظمة البحرية الدولية وما يصدر عنها من اتفاقيات وتعليمات. وبناء على ذلك فقد أنشأت دول المجلس مكتب وسكرتارية لمذكرة تفاهم الرياض في سلطنة عمان، والتي تعنى بالتفتيش والرقابة على السفن في موانئ دول المجلس، وتعمل على تطبيق المدونة الدولية لأمن وسلامة السفن والمرافق المينائية بدول المجلس. وأيضا أصدرت لائحة اشتراطات سلامة السفن ذات الحمولات الصغيرة. وفي مجال الطيران المدني تملك دول المجلس مطارات حديثة ومتطورة أسهمت في أن تكون منطقتنا ممراً هاما لحركة النقل الجوي العالمي، وعزز ذلك وجود شركات طيران وطنية ذات قدرات عالية تنافس كبريات شركات الطيران العالمية. أصحاب المعالي، أصحاب السعادة، الأخوة والأخوات الحضور، إن جهود الدول الأعضاء والأمانة العامة ماضية في استكمال مراحل إنجاز مشروع الربط بين دول المجلس بالسكك الحديدية، والذي يمثل نقلة نوعية في الترابط والتكامل الخليجي المشترك لآثاره الإيجابية المباشرة على حركة التبادل التجاري البيني وتنقل المواطنين والمقيمين فيما بين دول المجلس، إلى جانب دعم الاستثمارات المشتركة. وفي هذا الإطار فقد بدأ العمل على تنفيذ أجزاء جديدة من المشروع في بعض الدول، كما تم الاتفاق على نظام التشريع الخاص بالمشروع رول بوك، ويجري حالياً مناقشة أنظمة إدارة الأمتعة والتذاكر وأصول المشروع، وأيضاً استكمال الدراسات المتعلقة بالمشروع مثل تحديث توقعات حركة وحجم الركاب والبضائع. والمرحلة الثانية من دراسة إنشاء هيئة خليجية للسكك الحديدية، كما تم اتخاذ خطوات متقدمة في سبيل إنشاء الجسر الخاص بربط المملكة العربية السعودية ومملكة البحرين بمشروع سكة حديد دول المجلس. وهناك العديد من المشاريع الحديثة في مجال سكك الحديد أصبحت حقيقة واقعة في دول المجلس، فقطاع الحرمين السريع الذي يربط بين المدينتين المقدستين مكة المكرمة والمدينة المنورة بطول يقارب 500 كيلومتر وبسرعة تصل إلى 300 كيلومتر الساعة، يعمل حالياً في خدمة ضيوف الرحمن من الحجاج والمعتمرين. وقطار الشمال الذي يشغل على خط بالطول يزيد عن 1000 كيلومتر، وكذلك القطار الخاص بنقل المعادن من شمال المملكة العربية السعودية مدينة رأس الخير على الساحل الشرقي بطول يبلغ حوالي 1500 كيلومتر. وأيضاً تشغل دولة الإمارات العربية المتحدة المرحلة الأولى المشروع الخاصة بنقل المعادن من الرويس إلى ميناء حبشان بطول يصل إلى حوالي 264 كيلومتر. وفي مجال المترو فلا يخفى على الجميع النجاح الذي حققه مترو دبي، والذي بدأ التشغيل في عام 2009 والذي يشهد حالياً توسعه، ستخدم الحدث الأهم في المنطقة وهو إكسبو دبي 2020. كما أن مترو دبي بدأ التشغيل التجريبي بشكل كامل في شهر ديسمبر 2019 بطول يصل إلى حوالي 76 كيلومتر ب3 مسارات. وقد تم تصميم وبناء المترو والمحطات وفقاً لأعلى المعايير العالمية. كما أن مشروع مترو الرياض بطول يصل إلى حوالي 176 كيلومتر على 6 مسارات قد شارف على الانتهاء. أصحاب المعالي، أصحاب السعادة والكرام، لقد كان للتعاون والتكامل في مجال النقل والمواصلات ما بين دول المجلس أثر واضح وملموس، حيث ارتفعت معدلات التنقل فيما بين دول المجلس التعاون من حوالي 4.5 مليون مواطن عام 2003 بداية قيام الاتحاد الجمركي إلى ما يقرب الآن حوالي 27 مليون مواطن في عام 2018. كما ارتفعت أرقام التجارة البينية بين دول المجلس من حوالي 6 مليار في عام 2003 وصلت الآن إلى حوالي 147 مليون دولار أمريكي. أصحاب المعالي، أصحاب السعادة، الأخوة الكرام، إن جهود دول المجلس التعاون في تعزيز مشاركة القطاع الخاص وفتح الأسواق المحلية أمام المستثمرين المحليين والدوليين في مختلف القطاعات الاقتصادية بما في ذلك قطاع النقل والمواصلات وفر بيئة ملائمة لزيادة معدلات النمو الاقتصادي والتنويع الاقتصادي وفرص العمل. وللقطاع الخاص دور مهم في توفير خدمات النقل والمواصلات بشكل جيد ومتكامل وبكفاءة أعلى في دول المجلس. إن نجاح مؤتمر ومعرض السكك الحديدية في الشرق الأوسط سنوياً يؤكد على أهمية هذا القطاع ودوره المستقبلي في المنطقة، كما أن محاوره المتعددة التي تركز على إبراز أحدث القضايا والتقنيات الخاصة بقطاع السكك الحديدية وتعريف المشاركين بالفرص المتاحة سيكون لها دور هام في تمكين القطاع الخاص من المشاركة الفاعلة في هذا القطاع. ختاماً أتوجه بالشكر للمنظمين على كفاءة الإعداد والتحضير للمؤتمر، مقدراً جهود كل من أسلمه بجهده ووقته وفكره إنجاحه، متمنياً للمؤتمر كل التوفيق والنجاح، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
شكرا سعادتك. And now please welcome to the stage His Excellency Khalid Saif, the Minister of Transport in Jordan. Please.
ايوه حاطينها، بس انا بستخدم السلايدات اللي اي شكل.
Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before I start my presentation, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the government of the UAE, not just for becoming a true logistics hub in the region, but by also becoming a true knowledge hub, which we really need in the logistics and supply chain industry. Today I will be sharing with you Jordan's national railway network, the vision, where we stand today, and how we want to proceed in the near future. I also want to thank the Middle East Rail and Smart Mobility Conference team and obviously the Federal Transport Authority for the great job they've done and for making this event the true success that it is today. Well, to start the presentation, I would like just to share with you a quick brief about our beloved Jordan. Jordan is a small country but with a very big heart. A population of 10.5 million, an annual growth in population of 2%, a GDP of 42 billion USD, average annual income of 6,115. However, we're moving steadily. The transport sector today is extremely sensitive and extremely important. Today, this sector is employing 7.2% of the Jordanian workforce. So you can tell how strategically important and how it is socially important in Jordan to maintain this sector. It is a major creator of employment. And Jordan, as you know, has a true geostrategic location that we are trying to capitalize on. Having said that, with the directions of His Majesty King Abdullah, the government has taken a real conscious decision to upgrade the whole transport sector in Jordan, and this project comes within this plan. Just to give you a quick idea, there are 5 main entities that fall under the Minister of Transport. So you could tell that it's a very tough job. We have the Civil Aviation Authority, Jordan Hijaz Railway Corporation, Jordan Meteorological Department, and the Land Transport Regulatory Commission, and Jordan Maritime Authority. So by now you know that I have a very difficult job to do. Our vision is very clear: a sustainable and resilient transport sector that accommodates development to promote Jordan as a transport regional hub. We set the policies, we monitor the implementation of these policies, motivate and enhance the private sector, develop and plan transport sector, implement mega projects. And as you know, AIG, the partnership that we have in Queen Alia Airport, is considered as a BOT project as one of the top 40 partnerships, the best in the world. So we are looking to follow a very similar BOT PPP project basis in the future. Now let's discuss the project itself. The national network is designed with a length of approximately 1,000 kilometers to include several links that can be implemented in phases and according to the priorities required by the strategic importance and phases of developing networks in neighboring countries, as you can see in this chart. So basically our vision is to have a a 1,000 kilometer rail network purely for cargo, and we're going to talk about the type of commodities that we have in mind for this project. And it will start from the port of Aqaba all the way to Ma'an area in the south, up to Maduna in Amman, and from Maduna our vision is to extend to Saudi Arabia on Al-Umari borders, and hopefully to Syria and Iraq down the line, making Jordan a true gateway and a logistics hub fully enabled by this project. As I mentioned, phase 1, Aqaba to Amman, through Ma'an, Maduna to Umari, Maduna to Iraq, Maduna to Syria, and hooking up eventually with the KSA North and South Railway. The objectives of this project are very clear. Provide international connections towards Saudi Arabia and the GCC countries, Iraq and Syria, and further to Europe and Asia. Provide primary domestic freight connections between major economic activity centers inside Jordan. Save the national economy, serve the national economy by increasing the freight handling capacity, reducing transport and road maintenance costs, and creating new jobs. Another objective is to improve transport safety and reduce the road traffic accidents, in addition to safeguarding the environment, and that's a priority for us today, by reducing transport-related emissions and fumes. On a regional level, as I mentioned, the opportunity is great. Our geostrategic locations gives us a very good opportunity to really capitalize on this network, as mentioned earlier. And as you can see here, this national rail aims to link the country beyond the GCC countries, but even to Asia and Europe, by linking via the West Route, which is already completed, the one being planned, the Middle Route, and the East Route. Phase 1 is Aqaba to Ma'an, a new construction of a standard gauge railway linked to be used for freight. This phase aims to link Aqaba Port's container terminal and industrial areas to Maduna Dry Port in Amman with a total length of 400 kilometers. The stakeholders, local community, the Ministry of Transport, Aqaba Special Economic Zone Authority, Aqaba Container Terminal, Jordan Phosphate Mining Company, Jordan Potash Company, Jordan Grain Silos Companies, and obviously Customs Department. As I always say, when it comes to customs, you can't live with them, but you can't live without them. Network design characteristics and specifications. It's a single track standard gauge with a width of 1.435 meters, primarily used for cargo, allowing for a maximum design speed for freight rails is 120 kilometers per hour, and maximum axle load of 30 tons, and the slope, a maximum slope is 1.5 as per the studies, and the maximum train length is about 1,500 meters, made up from 6 locomotives and 60 trailers. A maximum vertical stacking height is 7.1 meters. The commodities that we have in mind for phase 1, basically containers. The past container average growth from 2000 to 2018, as you can see here, we saw 13.3% increase from 2000 to 2008, and a further 2.1% increase in tough conditions from 2009 to 2008. So basically the average growth period from 2000 to 2018 was 7.7, which is a good sign. Our forecast for 2019-2023 is an increase in 2.5%, and from 24 to 50 another 5%, which are positive signs. The second commodity is phosphate, which is very important to us. We have a phosphate growth rate handling of 3%, and anticipated in 2023 7.2 million tons to be transported, and in 2040 11.9 million tons. And grains is the third commodity that we have in mind. The grain traffic growth is 2% annual. In 2023, we are forecasting 1.06 million tons, and 2050 1.8 million tons. And grain traffic is to Juwaydik grain silo. So basically, once we reach out beyond Maduna through Irbid area, we can even connect the various silos that we have locally and domestically. Roro is also very important when it comes to transportation of vehicles. As for the current status of the project, we're glad to say that the feasibility studies were fully updated now. The detailed design will be completed by the second half of 2020, and the tender documents will be completed by second half of 2020, and for all the land expropriation activities, we are nearly done. Just to share with you a glimpse of the future, I'm sure there are a lot of questions, but what I can tell you for sure that we are moving steadily with this project. We've taken a decision that this is an absolute necessity. The Ministry of Transport today is moving towards a more of a logistics and supply chain state of mind. We are trying to create synergies across all types of transportation, linking them all together so we would end up with a true strategic implementable roadmap. A quick 3D photos of the Aqaba Imran link, and you could tell immediately that it's a very challenging project due to the geography and as you can see here. The marshalling areas in the Aqaba area, we will actually have 2 marshalling areas. And this is pretty much it. Finally, I would like to thank you very much, and I just wanted to share with you not just a vision, but even a true plan, and we would like to see this project up and running, inshallah, very soon. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. It's amazing to see the ambitious plans of such railway, and especially the connection between Europe and Asia in the future, and good luck with that project. And now let me introduce Mr. Shadi Malek, the Chief Executive Officer of Etihad Rail. I would like to invite him on stage, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very pleased to be speaking in front of you. Your Excellency, Mr. Ahmed Sharif Khouri, ladies and gentlemen, honored guests. Last year, same time, and at the same place, Etihad Rail highlighted to the audience and the attendees the plans, the funding strategies, and the delivery aspects that was intended for the next 3 to 4 years, including 2019. But this year, and thanks to the leadership of His Highness Sheikh Diab bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, the chairman of Etihad Rail, and his colleagues, board members of Etihad Rail, we went way further. We managed to tender and award more than 18 billion dirhams of contracts in 2019. This was not an easy journey or a simple task, but like in many countries, mega projects and railway projects require key ingredients for success. It requires resources, talented people, organizational infrastructure, a strategy on how and when to build the various components of a railway, the service offering, and the finding and for the right partner that makes a project of this magnitude. In the next 10 minutes, I will try to shed some light on the key achievements of last year. I would like to start, if you allow me, with the engineering aspect that was fundamental last year. We have more than 604 kilometers of railways that we intend to build over the coming short period. This railway asset will be integrating within the country's infrastructure environment, working through different types of terrain, natural environments such as soft soils, hard soils, sand, sabkha, gabbro, limestone, marine, which is few terrains to be mentioned. This involves close to 700 structures, including underbridges, overbridges, culverts, underpasses, utility corridors, 15 tunnels, and 60 overhead transmission lines, large volumes of rock cuts and earthwork activities, all of which have to be synchronized through a very challenging timeline while coordinating approval with over 200 stakeholders. Our system contract will connect the entire network across the country using the latest European trail control system. And this will also require an extensive GSM communication network, which will make us the second largest provider of this communication network. Another challenge will be to provide power to the network, which will require coordination across the entire Emirates. When we are designing this network, which you can see, we hold the environmental aspect of design and a very high standard like you would expect in the UAE. We consider environmental sustainability a principal driver in our planning, designing, and construction of the network. Stage 2, for example, will cut across numerous environmental sensitive areas through which we have to deal with biological sensitive species, animals, and plants. Therefore, we have stipulated the most stringent requirements in our contract to deal with these issues in accordance with our partners and the local environmental agencies. When planning a railway, my colleague from the UK has mentioned they have been operating for 200 years, and we are intending to do the same for the next 200 years, God willing. We have to look always at the commercial viability of the railway. At the end of the day, we are building the railway for customers to be utilized, to be integrated with facilities. So during the design period, we had to hold many workshops. We had to work very closely with our potential customers. We worked with them very hard to understand their requirements and reflect this into the engineering documents and reflect it into a way that will end up being beneficial for these customers. We have selected the best rolling stock specification and standards, and we have specifically designed our freight facilities to integrate the customer and railway operation and bring the best value for both. And as you would expect, operational input is key to the success. We have a very strong and reliable operational subsidiary, Etihad Rail DB, that has been serving the oil and gas industry for the last 6 years. Etihad Rail DB utilizes its expertise and lessons learned from the previous stage to provide its knowledge and expertise to Etihad Rail Stage 2. Etihad Rail DB has an excellent safety record and considered a pioneer and a benchmark model in many areas such as signaling and automated inspection, for example. So when we did this design, we had to go out to the market. We had to have a tendering strategy to take this enormous undertaking, a different way of thinking, because we are building a national railway in a very short timeline. We had to segregate the project, as you can see, by type of work, civil and track, geographical location, and sequencing of activities. 4 civil and track contracts, 1 system contract, 2 facilities contracts, including operation and maintenance, and freight facilities. Rolling stock supply contracts, all were done in 2019 and delivered. Value for money. In developing this study, we had to ensure value for money and cost control was paramount for what we are doing. Therefore, our scope and technical specification reflects more than 20 workshops extensively done with suppliers, with contractors, with partners, with stakeholders that enabled us to achieve the best value for money. This is why I'm very proud of our procurement team that was spearheaded by our ER procurement, led by Ala Al-Hammadi, who supported in pinning down this strategy and moving it forward in a compliant, transparent, fair, while subject to the highest level of scrutiny. There is no better testament to our strong global reputation than the number of variety of companies that have shown interest in our project. Over 100 companies responded to our tendering process from all over the world, including Canada, China, South Korea, Egypt, Turkey, France, Italy, UK, Japan, India, USA, Australia, Russia, Germany, and many other countries. To achieve this, and like I said, we had to work with exceptional people. to achieve. We indeed have a multicultural team with nationalities and specialists from all over the world. And through their valued expertise and know-how, we at Etihad Rail are committed to continuously build the capability of our Emirati workforce and deliver in parallel a 3-year rail diploma program with Abu Dhabi Vocational Education and Training Institute, ADVITI. This year, we are taking further steps in Etihad Rail Emiratization program as the contractors and joint venture partner working on the design and build of Stage 2 will train and hire additional 50 qualified UAE national. The youth of 10 years ago, Emirati 10 years ago, who wondered if they would ever see a railway are now playing an integral part in building the railway. Going forward, the year 2020 marks the start of the UAE journey towards the next 50, through which our beloved country strives to lay the foundation for a future that holds continued economic, social, cultural, educational, and environmental progress. For us at Etihad Rail, it represents unrelenting ambition to fulfill the leadership vision and endeavor to deliver the flagship project and a leading transport sector. We are building a legacy for our country. And the success of Etihad Rail will be a further proof that conviction supported by a team of people who simply have the desire to achieve success by virtue of diligence, determination, and hard work always pays off. Ladies and gentlemen, on the 23rd of January 2020, last month, His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan officially launched the start of the construction of Stage 2 works of the network. We will build across the UAE a network that's environmental friendly, business friendly, tourist friendly, and above all, community friendly. Thank you, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, and I would love to leave you with a 2-minute video of the progress that took place in 2019. Thank you so much.
الشباب أن ينضمون ويكونون جزء في نهضة وبناء قطاع السكك الحديدية. هذا المجال الجديد الواعد بدولة الإمارات العربية.
Thank you, Mr. Shadi Malik. It's amazing, actually, and I feel very proud as an Emirati to see such projects. Now, talking about the leading the way to greener and smarter mobility, let me ask Mr. Vincent Prue, Middle East Managing Director, Alstom, to the stage. He's way there. When I saw Alstom, it just reminded me of the news I heard a few days or last month about the acquisition of Bombardier Transportation. Please.
Thank you for the kind word of introduction. Not so easy for me to speak after Your Excellency, Mr. Shadi Malik. Very inspiring speech and project, and we are proud to be part of it. Not the largest contribution, but an important one, I guess. Distinguished guests, Your Excellencies, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be with you today again and being given the opportunity to deliver this speech. I hope to find you all in good health. We are very lucky. We are very lucky because we are part of a formidable industry and a formidable market. You will agree with me that it is a growing market. It's a dynamic and vibrant market. And more importantly, it is undertaking drastic changes today. So it's a very interesting times for all of us as stakeholders in this business. And I will not spend the next 15 minutes to talk to you in details about our latest generation of trains, metro, high-speed trains, tramway, or train-centric CBTC solutions, or capabilities to deliver turnkey, but I will more try to give you a snapshot about what we see in Alstom about the evolution of the market. And I will illustrate that by referring to the new strategic vision that we have in Alstom for 2023, which we call Alstom in Motion. So let's start. If I know how to use this machine, somebody can help me, please? Okay, here we are. Okay. So, context. The context on this market is that the world is still obviously going through a phenomena of urbanization, with 70% of the population to be in cities by 2050. The world as a whole is enjoying nowadays a constant growth at nearly 4% per annum. Obviously, focus is still there on sustainability and removal of CO2 emission. And last but not least, we are seeing some improvement in budget deficits around the world, generating capacity to invest. So altogether, you see, as reflected on this curve from SEI Worker study, that the urban market is expected to grow by over 5% in the coming years, and the mainline market by above 3%. So very robust macroeconomic drivers supporting the growth of our industry. In terms of focus on sustainability and green solutions, I have taken two examples to illustrate what's happening. You are all aware probably of the multiplication of diesel ban in various cities across the world, with commitment to ban diesel transportation by given dates. You see also increased investment into the